Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Blackout Tales podcast. I'm your host, Rod, joined as always by my co-host.
Karen.
We went to elementary school together.
We did.
And we lived in the same neighborhood right up the street.
I tell people, when people ask us for relationship advice, I tell them we are abnormal, like super abnormal. We went to the same elementary, same middle school, same high school, same college. We are weird, y'all. Most of y'all met y'all partners kind of later on in life. Some of you, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, but we didn't start dating until we were like 16. I've known Roger basically my whole life.
I don't know. That's why I say I don't know shit about y'all's relationship.
Me either. I do not know how to handle none of that bullshit.
Just because I sound reasonable doesn't mean I have any experience with the real world, guys.
Mm-hmm.
But we're not here alone, guys. We have a guest.
We do.
Okay, today's guest is comedian, writer, producer, host of Drunk Black History, Medium Popcorn, and now What the Film with Brandon Collins. What's going on, Brandon Collins?
Well, good. Graham Rising, my king and my queen. It's great to see y'all as always.
Donations.
Yes. I did not know that y'all knew each other since elementary school. Like I said in the chat, like that's like my grandparents' story. Like they knew each other since they were kids. They lived in the same neighborhood. They lived like 2 blocks away from each other, and they didn't start dating until like high school-ish. But man, that's incredible. That's
Ignorance,
beautiful, man. It's
ignorance is bliss, is what I say.
Yes, it is.
Karen don't know any better, right, Rod?
Yeah.
Neither don't know about the other fish in the sea.
Neither one of us.
Yeah.
People be like, why are you such a feminist and all this stuff? I'm like, I don't know. I never had to deal with anything bad. Like, I don't know what bitter shit y'all are holding in. Like, I don't have the story of like, and then I came home, she was fucking the whole football team. And
I didn't have to deal with any of that.
Well, I mean, I think it's also indicative of being surrounded by great women too, right? Right? Like for me, like I was surrounded by women all the time. So my grandfather, who was very stoic and didn't talk to anybody except his bottle of Seagram's gin. So
what's crazy is I feel like a lot of men are surrounded by great women, but then they somehow manage to be, these incel ass type niggas. And I feel like it's, they use a lot of that by blaming like women they dated or women that
they
knew. Yeah, women they can't get with.
And I think that's the problem with Instagram. Yeah. Like Instagram's just full of a lot of women that are just like so far out of your league, and then you just like resentment because you like commenting, like these incels are commenting in the chat in the comments stuff. They're like, they're not talking to me. Like some women have been posting recently, like the creepy DMs they be getting, and I'm like, how do you have the balls to even reach out to someone and demand pussy like that?
It's crazy. And the thing is, a lot of times men, they realize it, but some of them don't care. It is a privilege to being a man. And so a lot of times men feel like, and men have been kind of raised, I'm talking about straight men, have been kind of raised, go out there, get what you want, be bold, be brave, type of thing. Don't let them see you cry. Don't let them see you crack type of thing. And when you do that, a lot of people kind of internalize that seriously, think they could just take over the world. I want it, so it's mine. And how dare you tell me no, type of thing.
My favorite thing these days is actually when a dude says something out of pocket about a woman's appearance, and then the woman, without any real commentary, just post that guy's avatar. Just blown up the normal size picture. And then the world does the rest. Like the world just comes in the ring like it's WrestleMania, like elbow dropping on this man. Like, you look like a sack of potatoes. I love that.
Yeah, you just welcome back to your middle school trauma, motherfucker. Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games over here.
You could have just walked on by, but you decided to throw your comment in there.
Why your hairline look like a Batman symbol? It's like, God damn, he could have just shut the fuck up. Like it's always weird to me because like, I feel like being of a certain age, I grew up at a time where like seeing some boobs or a butt or something was a big deal for me. It was huge.
Dial-up internet? Come on now.
Yeah.
You know how long it took to see a titty?
Right. Yes. And motherfuckers used to like plan their life around stuff. Like, I might get to see some titties tonight. I'm throwing all my plans out the window. My boys.
Why are you judging that? Okay.
I'm not
16 years old. Okay.
I'm not judging. I'm saying we were in it together. If anything, I'm saying we are
collective.
We're missing something because these niggas don't have no appreciation for the fact that I can just log on to Twitter and there's 20 women willingly being like, can you please look at my titties and make a comment, please? Guys, I need some help. My follower count is getting kind of low. Can someone share my titties so they go viral? It's like, you guys are so spoiled. And these are the ones that, this is a generation that's like, I hate these women. I'm like, what? This is all I dreamed of.
Yeah, man. Like, I think that actually all the time. I'm like, when I'm on Instagram or TikTok, like, yeah, like I'm like, I should figure out my algorithm, but I'm also like, how are you so angry when there's so many beautiful people in the world? And I walk around New York and stuff like that. I'm like, there's a beautiful world, like city, like the things we're capable of. Like,
if you ever shoplifted an adult magazine, then you should not be. You literally are living in utopia right now. This is. People are risk prison time to look at some titties.
Yeah, I can pull up porn on my phone now. I used to have to sneak into my mom's room because I knew she had some porno tapes under the mattress next to her other, pleasure objects, which I won't talk about because they make me uncomfortable to talk about. But like, I'd like sneak into the living room, put it on the VHS, make sure I synced everything up so I knew where to like rewind it to.
Right.
It took a lot. It was a lot of
I used to go in the convenience store and pretend to be looking at like Time magazine so I could get a glance at the cover of Black Tail. Like, I was just like, oh, this is interesting. As 12-year-olds, we really need to know about the economy. And Janet Jackman. Okay, good.
One of my favorite lines, like obviously it's a teen male comedy, but super bad when they're looking at the porn. Because like my friends and I literally said this about nipples one time when he's looking at the nipples, like they're like little baby toes. I was like, yo. Oh no! That's why I was like, I fuck with Seth Rogen because I'm like, that's the kind of sense of humor I had like as a teenager and shit.
Yeah, man. But yeah, it is interesting that this is the generation that has chosen to be the most, and it's probably got a lot more to do with isolation.
Yes,
because
loneliness.
Not that men have ever been great, but I feel like the isolation via the internet and not seeing people in real life and people not hanging out in third spaces, like like the mall and shit,
clubs,
even just parents dropping you off at the movies, and it wasn't necessarily everything was all good, but having to deal with people in person, there's a level of like respect you have to have because no one's gonna let you see their boobs if you're talking shitty to them to their face. You gotta at least like learn how to talk to somebody to be like, maybe they'll show me a boob one day.
Right.
But on the internet, I think these guys are just like, I'm never gonna see this lady anyway. She lives a million miles away. She's dating Anthony Edwards and I have no shot, so I'm just gonna go on her page and be like, bitch, you ugly, and let her post me and everybody call me a sack of potatoes.
It's insane. I was sitting next to this brother for a Highest to Lowest premiere on Monday, and ASAP Rocky was in the building, right? And this dude was like, "Yo, if I could just have a moment with Rihanna, man, I swear to God, like it's gonna be a game changer." And I'm just like, okay, bro. I'm like, oh, okay, sure, buddy. Like, right? Yeah, this is your shot.
Like, yeah, imagine if Rihanna, we just saw Rihanna pop up with some random dude from New York who was like a movie critic or something, and we're like, what? How'd she get with that guy? He just got a minute alone with her, dude. He was right. He got backstage. He said he spit some game to her. She threw her whole life away, man. ASAP raising them babies by herself. She's on the red carpet with this guy. Wow, what a story.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of which, dude, speaking of movies, this new project, What the Film? What is it exactly? WTF. Yeah, what's going on?
Yeah, this came out of like a.
Are you naming it that because Mark Maron is ending his podcast, so now you can take the space?
It's a little bit of convenient timing and everything. Like I went through a lot of different names I had for the show, and Tati, my wife, actually kind of helped me narrow it down to WTF What the Film, because it is going to be like a love letter to film, but also at the same time, I'm going to be highlighting a lot of insane things that were made because I think that. With this whole like leaning on like the industry leaning so hard on IP and things like that, it's like important for us to remember like there's some big swings that happen with original films and we should appreciate that. Yeah, they don't always hit, or so they don't hold up, or like they're batshit crazy. But like
that was never a requirement before.
Yeah, we should appreciate that it happened. Like I'm so happy with like the past week or so with films. Like I mentioned Highest to Lowest. We just saw Weapons. Like the fact that like some of these original films are coming out and like they're taking some huge swings and they don't always hit, but they're still like I just appreciate that these movies are being made versus like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Part 3 or whatever reboots they're cooking up now. You know what I mean?
Or like War of the Worlds.
My God, yeah. Please, Media Popcorn fans, please stop asking us to review that. Like, we're gonna get to it, but like the clips I'm just seeing online, I'm like, yo, the Ice Cube just like record himself on a computer and just say, hey, we can make a movie out of this, right?
Yeah, I watched it and then I found out the backstory was it was actually recorded during the pandemic when we weren't allowed to like really go out. And
of course it was.
For some reason, it was not released until 2025, which I don't understand because I feel like you might could have got away with this in 20. Like it would have been bad. Like, don't get me wrong, but there would have been a level of understanding. And it would have been like appreciation. Like we appreciate Amazon trying to give us entertainment when we're all stuck together, like at least it's something. And we would have laughed at it and been like, it's silly, but there's more extenuating circumstances where we're like, yeah, it's silly, but I mean, you can't film a movie right now. You can't be together. Putting it out in 2025 feels like they were trying to fuck Ice Cube's life up. like he had to be like chilling and then wake up one day and be like, they put that out? Like,
oh yeah. Like, there's a reason why he's been doing some rounds where he's like, "Hey, I didn't know this is the Trump we're going to get." Like, I was they forced him to do this press tour. He not prepared because like I've done some of these celebrity interviews where you can tell like if someone's been coached, they're prepped. Everything, just like they're set to fail. Like what was it, Clay Davis on The Wire when they bring all the receipts in the court and he's like, "Oh, y'all out for blood." That's how it felt. Like interview. He's just looking at like, "Oh, y'all."
Well, I didn't mean to sidetrack you though, man. So yeah, What the Film? I'm sorry. You're talking about these original movies.
Just it's a love letter to film, and it's like me leaning into like edutainment versus like just straight up stand up comedy or what have you. Like given Drunk Black History, now I want to kind of like transition some stuff, like like my approach to comedy towards like my love of film, and obviously I have Media Popcorn, but this gives me an opportunity to talk to a lot of different creatives and people about favorite films that influence them. And also just like celebrate movies. Like I'm gonna do trivia, I'm gonna do like movie karaoke. We have a lot of giveaways. I go to a lot of screenings, so I have a lot of things, fun, unique things to give away to the audience. So What the Film is a monthly series that we're starting in Brooklyn at Littlefield, starting on Thursday, September 4th. The first lineup is great. Like I got Tatiana King, DJ Ben Hameen from the For All Nerds podcast. I got the homie Justin Brown from Media Popcorn on it, Afira Eisenberg from NPR, and the homie Mike Feeney, who I actually used to do a storytelling show with back in the Story of Queens. So it's a nice like bring a lot of my favorite people on stage to talk about their favorite films, and we're talking specifically about the 90s for the first so we're gonna have a lot of insane.
So, couple of things. Is it going to be available in podcast form? Is it only in person? Is it going to be?
It's only in person right now, but I will be recording it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with like. I'll probably like chop up the footage and like post it online, but I don't know if I'm going to do any type of podcasting for it right now.
Okay.
But it's going to be a live experience, and just come out, meet other people, meet other like-minded movie nerds.
If you're in New York, make sure you show up because Brandon puts on a hell of a show. It's always well produced. It's always fun. He always has the best guests. Good venues. Like it's always a top class situation. So anytime we have Brandon on here and Brandon's promoting something like a live in person thing, if you can be there in person, I highly suggest you be there in person. Even if it is something where eventually it might be virtual or whatever, I've been there in person, I've been there virtual, top class both ways, but the in person is a different hit, different being around people that are also into the same thing you're into. So make sure you guys go check them out.
Yeah, and also something I realized about Brandon is a professional, y'all, like, and sometimes people don't understand the work that goes behind picking the venue.
It's so much work.
Being sure the venue is somewhere people have access to, being sure the venue has all the compliances or whatever things are needed, making sure insurance and all that stuff. It's a lot behind it.
Well, also the professional meaning like Brandon starts on time.
Yes.
Like if Brandon says something's gonna be there, something's gonna happen, it happens. And I don't mean that as shade to anybody else, but it's just something in this industry you can't take for granted. I think a lot of people kind of take, especially with talent, It's like, oh, my talent is so immense that, you know, if I'm the show star when I get there or whatever the fuck. And Brandon's not like, Brandon's like, I'm gonna be there. It's gonna happen. It's gonna be on time. It's gonna, whatever your ticket says, that's gonna happen. And so that's another reason I always feel like highly confident to recommend anything you do, because I know, even when we just schedule this show, I never go, well, Brandon might be there 10, 15, 10, 30. Like, Brandon's going to be there early, 9:57 a.m. and ready to go.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, and coordinating, especially with comedians, is a nightmare, because, like you said, Rod, they always think like, oh, the show, like, you know, I'll be fine. Like, I'll get there when I get there, and it'll work out. And I'm very specific with how I outline like the show and the flow of it. So like, if I'm putting you first, that's for a reason. I still think you're talented. Like, that's the reason why I booked you. I think you're going to be great on the show, but I'm setting you up for success in this one spot. If you go later than that, or you go like, you know, if we have to change things up, you might be in for a weird, it might be a little bit more challenging for us. Like, we had an experience like that. Recently we did a drunk bike history at the Museum of Food and Drink, and things went well. But I told like one of the talent to get there early so they could get relaxed, they can get comfortable. And they got there like literally 30 seconds before I called them on stage. And so, of course, they're not in the right. They're not. It took them a while to ramp up and get comfortable. And by that point, it's time for me to move on to my next guest. So it's like, I always want people to win. And that's been one of the toughest things about being in this industry, is like, you know, there's like a little bit of an innocence and naivety that comes with that, and that people try to take advantage of. But I mean, at the same time, like, I always book people because I want them to succeed. I want the audience to have a great time. I know they're gonna have a good experience. And so, yeah, this first show lineup, I'm like, who do I love to talk to about movies and pop culture, and like who I know are just funny people, and like that's why I booked them for this first show.
And I'm really excited for you. Something Roger talked about, which I do believe, sometimes people that are creatives forget that they're in reality. I understand you're a creative, and creativity is great, but things around you function kind of differently. And sometimes they'll be like, well, I don't have to be on time. Like, yeah, you do. Yeah. You know, we have these things for a reason.
I'll just say it helps. You know, there's people that, you know, are friends of the show and stuff, but I hesitate to book them on stuff because they've no-showed, or they've been so late that it fucks us up. And I'm not an angry person. I'm a pretty patient person, but I also know that this is a product and our audience expects a certain thing. So it doesn't matter how funny or talented you are. If I'm telling people you're going to be here at 10 and then we consistently can't start till 10:30, 11, or hey, sorry, they're not going to show up. There's a level of that where in order to avoid conflict later, I'm just like, I'm not going to view this as disrespect, even though it is disrespect to my time and my audience. I'm just going to say, this person doesn't come on the show often, and move on. Like, it's just easier for that way. But, and it's, you know, I think it's weird because there's people who've been creatives their whole lives. And so there's also people that have had jobs. I've had jobs my whole life and then been a creative.
Right.
So the job shit is, you know, while I know people shit on jobs or whatever the fuck, you know, I get it. We're all anti-capitalist now, but there's certain shit in jobs that you learn that is so fucking key. Bro. And you can tell people who've never really been in jobs like that, because it's like, being on time is key. Being professional is key. A good attitude is key. And a good attitude does not necessarily mean like you got to be fake or anything, but I mean, a good attitude, like, people look at good attitude like it's like a personality trait. Yeah. And I'm like, no, good attitude is literally like what they pay you for.
That's what money's for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You think I be feeling great when I show up to McDonald's? No. But when I hop on the motherfucking intercom and I'm like, hi, welcome to McDonald's. Can I take your order? That's what the fucking $7.25 is for, player.
When I'm at a store and customer service is so bad, I'm like, I used to do your job. Like, yeah, you may not like it, but like, you gotta have a smile on your face. You have to want to interact with somebody. You can't just be standing up on your phone. But to that point though, like, that's one of the reasons why, like, I'm so, and I've gotten better with like relaxing when it comes to time management, because my wife, you know, she tends to run 5 minutes late for everything. But it's like, I grew up, like, when I was 6 years old, my grandparents, I used to stay with my grandparents, and my grandfather worked at General Motors in Detroit, right? But they lived in Ypsilanti, so they were like 35 minutes outside of Detroit. And so I would have to wake up because he had a 5 a.m. shift. I woke up with my grandparents at 3:30 in the morning to drive with my grandparents to drop off my grandfather at General Motors so he could be early, not even on time, early. He was always 15 minutes or more early right, for his ship. And then I would drive back with my grandmother. Like, I just learned that discipline of being early, not even on time, because you never know what could happen. You always have to account for human error, other things that could happen. Like, you don't want to have the excuse to get at work at late and you're like, oh, well, this happened, or I got caught in traffic. It's like, traffic happens every day, bro. Plan accordingly.
Yes, and I understand that I'm a stickler for it, and so I try not to be too abrasive to other people about it. But like, I fucking mean it. Like, when we say we got to show at a certain time, I be here in this room at the time that it's supposed to start.
Yep.
You know, like, not I'm getting ready, let me turn on the computer at 10. Like, no, that because sometimes the computer got to do a fucking update.
Right.
Sometimes you got to start over. And now we're 10 minutes late because we didn't do the shit we were supposed to do. You know, even when we have like a guest who's late, I'll start the show on time, let the audience know like they running a little late. We got you. Because it's just, you know, as a customer, one of the things people don't understand is a customer views you the same way they view anything they pay for.
Yeah.
So you could you hope they're nice and they like, oh, independent Black people is, you know, this isn't the same. But at the same time, if I'm giving you $10 and I'm giving Netflix $10, Netflix tells me the show premieres at midnight on Friday, I expect to hit play and the motherfucking show's there. You tell me the show starts at midnight on Friday, I expect to hit play. I don't go, well, that's different. That's Rod and Karen. No, I go, damn, that's weird. The shit wasn't there at midnight like they promised. So I think, you know, that stuff matters because it's not just about charisma and stuff. It's about delivering what people expect.
Yeah, it really is. And me and Roger talk about you, Brandon, and sometimes I'll be like, and you know what? I actually want to work with you one day. I don't know when or what may happen, but I was like, I actually want to work with you one day.
Yeah, we will. Like, I've definitely like had some ideas percolating with like some type of festival or something like that in New York. I've been, you know, because I've had venues reaching out to me because of the success of Drunk Black History and stuff like that. Oh, would you be interested in doing something like here or there? And I'm like, there's something that I could put together. I'm just trying to figure out, you know, because I'm setting up this tour and everything like that. But I'm in talks between 2 agents, so hopefully that'll help with like getting like, you know, support with this tour, this Drunk Black History tour, and then also What the Film and stuff like that. But yeah, we're definitely going to work together.
And how is What the Film different from, say, Medium Popcorn and Drunk Black History, like in your mind, like in your mind's eye?
It's kind of a combination of both in a way. It's like, you know, fun movie commentary and observations and like celebration of like movies that shaped our, whether it's a comedy sensibility or our feelings about like, you know, a certain time period, especially because the 90s were kind of unhinged. Like, it was like a no holds barred in some way, right? And how that reflects on today's society and like the young people that grew up to that stuff. And so, but then it's also gonna be like movie trivia and like things about the production and like how much the movie changed. And so like I'm bringing those elements of Drunk Black History, like unknown facts and fun trivia and audience engagement, stuff like that. So it's a good combination of both things. So it's less of a heavy lift for me as like a producer and things like that. And just more something I'm passionate about. That's why I'm excited about this series. I think it's gonna be something different because I didn't want to just do another stand-up show. Like, I got some offers from some venues like, hey, like, you know, I know you did Drunk Black History. Like, I remember you did Comedy Outliers. Would you love to do a stand-up show here? And I'm like, that's already done. Like, I can't offer anything new now. Right. Like, I can't offer anything new in that space, but what I can offer is like this other thing that I'm incredibly passionate about that I think could have some legs and people love.
And everybody loves movies. So it's like a great, like, tentpole thing to bring like comedians, actors, and fans together. I also like the idea of revisiting older stuff, or, you know, just wacky stuff, or people's personal favorites and stuff like that. Because I feel like everyone has those things, and they're not necessarily shared experiences in that everyone likes them, but they're shared experiences in that everyone has one, right? Like, like for example, I love Pootie Tang. Unironically, it's a ridiculous movie.
We've seen that in the movie theater and had a motherfucking ball.
We were in the theater and we were like the only people laughing at every single.
Yes, it was me and Roger.
You were at the premiere with Louis C.K. and Chris Rock. You were the only one laughing.
We were the only ones.
Only ones. And I mean, we were laughing like a full comedy show. That shit was hilarious.
But like, my point isn't that like, if we were on to talk about Pootie Tang or something, that everybody would be like, yeah, we all love Pootie Tang. It's actually kind of dope that people are like, that's not the one I love, but we all have one. If someone else would be like, oh, mine was tripping, or mine was, and it's like that shared experience is beautiful. And revisiting older stuff, I think there's a value to it because there's like this thing that's existing right now where people revisit stuff, but only the problematic part of it.
Right.
And I think revisiting it in a total is better. Like, and I'm not saying it has to be, you don't talk about anything problematic. I mean, like, revisiting to be like, this is what was fun about it. This is what hasn't aged as well. Yeah, and this is what was a different conversation. We had different words for. And I think there's something fun and universal about that conversation, as opposed to, like, say last week when Ari Lennox said there was colorism involved in the Pam portrayal on Martin. Instead of just everyone yelling at her or yelling at the people who are like, it would be cool to be like, oh no, like, here's some of the favorite parts of Martin, and yeah, I can see how this aged badly.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, especially with the 90s, like for me, like one of the movies that people could say is incredibly problematic now is Heavyweights, right? Because like the whole fat camp thing and stuff like that. But like that low key has one of the funniest comedic performances ever with Ben Stiller as Tony Perkins. Like I don't know who like could watch that movie and not think that he's so crazy that like you just can't laugh at some point. And there's some other movies, like, you know, Denzel was in some wild 90s movies. I mean, obviously Philadelphia is great, but like I think he probably represented like a lot of the Black community at the time and how they felt about AIDS and stuff. But then he also did that crazy movie with John Goodman and The Devil.
Oh man, that's
the Bone Collector.
On my side,
and the Bone Collector, where he was a paraplegic, and then Angelina Jolie is like, like they said, they posited that Denzel was so sexy, and 90s Angelina Jolie is like, this is the one for me.
I can't get it. I can't get it. What's crazy about that? I don't know if you recently saw that quote, because he's doing his movie, his rounds to promote Highest Low, but where he was like, he didn't take the role in Seven because he thought the script was too demonic, and then he saw Seven and was like, I fucked up. and then so then he does Fallen and the Bone Collector, right? And so on Twitter, I was like, I quote tweeted his thing about how, he was like, man, I didn't want to do it because it's too demonic. And I quote tweeted it with like, man, Black people really don't play about the devil, which is universal. Like, Black people, I don't know what it is, we do not play about the devil. And then people was like, well, he was in Fallen. And I was like, if you read the fucking quote, Seven came out 2 years before Fallen, meaning he walked out of Seven the same way that like Cam Newton in that one gif where the team scores a touchdown, and then you see him on the sideline like get ready to put his helmet on, and he's like nodding his head like, okay then, yeah, let me go out here and get my touchdown. I'm like, that's how he walked out. He looked at Brad Pitt and was like, okay then, so we doing devil movies, I'll be right back with. And Fallen is one of the creepiest movies to this day.
It's very
creepy. He did that.
It's very creepy. Yeah, I love when actors like talk about the movies that they like they rejected, and then they're like,
yes.
Damn. Like Leonardo DiCaprio recently talked about how he didn't do Boogie Nights. That's like his biggest regret. It's like he was up for Dick Diggler or whatever the character's name was.
Yeah, Dirk Diggler. And that was after Basketball Diaries. So he would have been perfect for it.
Yeah, he was getting his edgy. But he might have lost Titanic if he had done that.
Right, that's true too.
You know what I mean? So that's
Will Smith definitely has the biggest ones, I think, of all time. It's not just Django. It's the Matrix and Django. Yeah, like he missed out on a few like iconic movies where, and part of the appeal, to be fair to Will, because I feel like the same thing with Denzel, part of the appeal is getting him to do those movies. Like it's not just it's not just a matter of like, oh, those movies are good movies and he could have been in it. I mean, like, there is something to a guy who plays a good guy his whole life, and then Denzel doing Training Day. That just like where if Training Day stars Wesley Snipes, it doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit the same. You spend the whole movie being like, this dirty ass cop, he gonna fucking, but watching it with Denzel, you like, Denzel doesn't play bad guys, so I don't know what the angle is where he's like triple dipple undercover or part of internal affairs, but he's gonna do something at the end of this movie to like exonerate himself. And you just end the movie like, God damn, Denzel was
he's getting worse. He's getting worse, if anything.
Right?
He grabbed like his little Afro Latino son and was like, hey,
King come over here. Ain't got nothing on me.
Right.
That was my jam.
Setting up Ethan Hawke with some Mexican cholos to get fucking
pushed in. You ever had your shit pushed in? I was like, yeah, bro, this is a different type of movie Denzel took.
I remember watching that like in middle school. I think this is when it came out, and I remember looking over at my mom like, "What does that mean?" Like she was like, "I ain't gonna explain it." Yeah, I'm from the suburbs. I'm like, "Having your shit pushed, dude."
Dog, that was very literal. I was like, "Oh my." Oh my!
Oh goodness gracious! But yeah, that's the kind of stuff that we're going to talk about, like what the film and like moments and quotes and things that are just really still with us. Like, so people are picking their movies that they're going to talk about, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And I don't want to hear it in the chat room. I know he said that pitch wasn't good, according to Will. Will went and did the Wild Wild West, guys.
Right?
Yeah, I think Will. Especially back then, I think he was all about like how much control do I have, and I think when you're talking about the Wachowski brothers at the time, and especially Quentin Tarantino, like it's like no, you're on my set, like you're gonna do like because Quentin like he did like a lot of interviews, and he talked about how like it basically like the script, you stick to the script. There's like very little improvising. He's like he's in command. So if you're an actor trying to go like with a big ego,
I just honestly just wanted to shit on the Wild Wild West. That's really all I was saying about. Like there's no way that script wasn't confusing. There's no way the pitch meeting for the Wild Wild West was just straightforward.
You know how that spider got in there though, right?
How to get in there?
Yo, this is great Hollywood trivia real quick. John Peters is a producer. He used to be Barbra Streisand's hairdresser. He ran Warner Brothers and stuff back in the 90s. He like greenlit Tim Burton's Batman, right? He was the one who tried to do the Nicolas Cage Superman, right? And he tried to get Kevin Smith to write it. And so basically he talked about how he loves spiders and he thought that there's the scariest, baddest motherfuckers on the planet. And so basically Kevin Smith had to work out like this like spider creature for Superman to fight. Long story short, the Tim Burton Superman movie never happened, right? But John Peters was still obsessed with spiders. He was a producer on Wild Wild West and he finally got a spider with the Kevin Branagh spider.
Whew. Well, that was
such a great Hollywood story.
Yeah, that was only one part of what made that movie bad, but yeah,
that's where it went downhill.
Yeah, that's so funny to like to be a fly on the wall and see like him get pitched to Matrix and be like, I don't understand what the fuck they're talking about.
Oh yeah,
and then see him get pitched to Wild Wild West and be like, yeah, futuristic spider, steampunk, train guns. Yeah, it makes sense to me. Shit, let's do it. And I get to do a rap song with Cisco. Oh, this motherfucker right here finna make all the money.
Yeah.
I dressed up as Cisco one time for our Halloween party. We used to do an annual Halloween party in Queens. I dressed up as Cisco. It's a great costume, by the way.
Yeah.
But niggas were so drunk at the party, the thong song came on. They tried to they were like, Brad, do the flip. I'm like, do you realize who I am? Like, what do you
it's just a costume. I don't get his powers.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I can do. Yell at the top of my lungs. Okay, because that is what Cisco did. That Wild Wild West boy, he was like, "We're going straight." I'm like, "This
Wild West."
I'm like, "This brother is."
Now that song was my jam. I ain't even gonna lie.
I'm like, this brother is yelling at me. I have to dance.
Even in slow songs, even in Cisco slow songs, he's yelling at you. Cisco, so lonely. You're like, damn, all right.
I love Cisco.
Oh man, but this sounds like it's gonna be lit, man. Tell the people where it is again and how to get tickets.
Yes, What the Film WTF on Thursday, September 4th in Brooklyn at Littlefield. Come out, go talk movies, trivia, movie soundtrack karaoke, and all that good stuff. You can get tickets at FrodoBlackens.com and use the discount code popcorn for 20% off. Because I know it's tough out here, but financially for some people,
it's hard out here for a pimp. Okay, guys, you gotta get out here. Man. But listen, I be taking advantage of these discounts. Okay, I'll be at Costco getting my gas now. I know what it is. You got to, okay. We see the inflation out here that's not being reported.
Bro, that is going to be a problem. And like by the end of the year, because of the way that they're messing with these numbers now, that's going to be but we might be in a depression, and like the news won't say anything about it.
You know what's gonna bother me the most is watching how. Because our information is so siloed, people who get their news from some sources will be completely lying to the rest of us about how good or bad things are. So like if gas is $5, the same people that were like, gas went up 1 cent under Biden, and I said he gotta go, they're gonna be like, Fox News says the gas, this is just how much gas should cost. And it's gonna drive me crazy. I'm not gonna be able to be in spaces talking to these kind of people because I'm gonna want to choke them when I'm like, no, you were mad because eggs were like 10 cents higher. Now eggs are $4 higher, and you seem to be not as upset anymore. And they're gonna be like, yeah, but that was before, we were rounding up brown people.
Yeah, and it's like we're living alternate realities. You know what I mean? And Tati actually said this a few days ago. She's like, fuck Kellyanne Conway. She's like, because she kind of blames her for the beginning of this alternate reality shit, the alternate facts thing, and people just embracing that. Like that changed the game. That changed the whole approach to how
alternate facts are lies.
Yeah, which I know y'all know, but it, is a long storied history in America, going back to the inception of it, of just like white people's feelings are just facts. Like it just doesn't matter what's the truth, like it's it's like after Reconstruction, where they're just like, listen, I know we fought a whole war to keep these people enslaved, and I know they're free now and they're taking office down here and all that stuff, but let me tell you, these blacks, they are mean. Okay, I need some help. As a white former slave owner, I'm the real victim of what's happening. And that became true in America, to the point of like the next amazing compromise in America was getting rid of Reconstruction, taking all the federal troops from the South, no longer enforcing all the laws that had freed black people and protected their rights in the South. It was just like 8 years of white people complaining in the South and lying, being like, they're not just the mayor, they're also raping all our kids. Okay, that is what is happening. Like, where's the facts? It just, trust me, and I feel like this is a long storied history. So we have stuff like the election was stolen is just another example of like, we lost the election, that means it's stolen, and then the news and politics, we have to act like that's real. Like, people are on the news being like, well, look, factually, we're not saying it was stolen, but a lot of people are saying this election integrity, we need to check it. It's like, no, they just lost. And it doesn't work the other way, meaning like black people, brown people, women, none of our feelings get to be facts. So like, if black people are like, I don't know, man, feels like something's up with blank, there's not a news apparatus that is like, let's weaponize that, let's run on that, let's make content that caters to those black folks.
And it's so funny, like like companies and organizations I've worked with in the past that are, a lot majority all white people in the C-suite and leadership and stuff like that, they always one of their models is always assume best intent, right? And it's just like I don't know. Yeah, we all three of us shaking our head, we know we know what that's supposed to disguise. So if I do some shady shit, just believe I have your best interest at heart. Like, oh, what, the layoffs come? That's when you're
and it helps that type of the people who are up on game and can use those things, weaponize that best intent. It really does help them to slide by, because they know that objectivity in America means you can't ever treat me like a bad faith actor. I've been in a really not weird place, but in a, like, I don't know, last few months I've just been seeing like everything is as like, so much of this shit is just content that has destroyed America. Like, it's destroyed life. Like, content over everything. Everything's content. Your politics is content. It's not really the rules to like how you're gonna live your life. It's just, hey, how do I get some views off this shit? News has turned. Yeah, news is turned to content now. It's not really news. Like, it's weird to me that like Gavin Newsom has spicy tweets and everybody's like, maybe he can be president. And I'm like, that's weird that y'all weren't fucking with him until he was tweeting spicy. That should mean something, because y'all didn't fuck with him. Y'all didn't like him. Now he's tweeting spicy, but at the same time on his podcast, he's having white supremacists on there and he's doing whole episodes like, we should just have conversations. So the tweets are not really representative of how he gets down. And yet, because it's entertainment, because those tweets are very entertaining, I'm seeing people be like, maybe we should give him a chance.
It's like wrestling. President. Yeah, it's like wrestling. You're finally seeing your guy get a few hits in, right? Because he's been jacked up so much by a racist Hulk Hogan over here. Because we got Schumer and Jeffries over here talking about, we wrote some strong, worded emails and shit. And people are like, what are you doing? They're literally ripping up the Constitution.
Right.
Like,
but
he's literally going after voting rights.
That's what's wild, though, right? So, one, racist Hulk Hogan could also just be Hulk Hogan. But the other thing that's interesting there is, because it's content and it's theater and it's a show, Jeffrey's going on record with a letter is actually what politicians do and is supposed to do, especially when they're not in power, because they don't have any mechanisms to do anything more than that. Like, we didn't give them enough to do more. But Jeffries also filibustered until he fucking about to piss on himself. That was just a couple months ago. And people were like, wow, you know what? We get it. This dude cares. And now we're like, fuck that guy, because he don't have the power to change anything. Republicans have all the power right now. They have all the numbers they need. They don't need a single Democrat to help them do shit. And we're still like, you fucking weak Democrats, because what we want is actually content. We don't actually want political governance. If we did, we'd be like, how do we vote more people in so that we can get the representation we want? Instead, we're like, why didn't you do an antic that I can share on my Twitter or I can talk about in my group chat? Because that's more important to me than like governing. I actually think a big part of why Biden administration took so much flack, they're a bad content creator.
Yeah.
They were good at governing. Every statistical measurement we have,
I want it.
Yeah, every statistical measurement we have for like what makes a, they were doing above and beyond. Your unemployment rates, your economy, comparative inflation around other first world countries in the world. But he was super bad at like a viral moment. You know what I mean?
He was very bad at communicating, and also their team. You know, it's similar to the show Veep. You know, they show the relationship between the vice president and the president. That's exactly what it was with Harris and Biden. I think that they should have leaned more on Harris to really communicate their agenda and what they were doing.
Yeah.
And get her out more.
What's even weird about that, right? Because Harris, like, once again, we live in two different realities. Harris was out here literally touring constantly, doing events constantly. It's not getting covered. Like, media people was like, man, that's boring. And you had
media women's rights. They're like,
you had and black voting right and maternal health. Like she was because you know how old Biden was. She was literally on the trail more than he was when it was, even when he was president.
Biden was.
Right. Right. Exactly. So
everyone was. Yeah.
Which is crazy, because if you look at a lot of headlines, it was, where's Kamala Harris?
Remember that.
Meaning the same media outlet that is pretending she's not doing anything is the same media outlet that chose not to show up at her events so they could pretend that she's not doing anything. That's like I said, I don't want to say it's a depressing place, but I'm in a very cynical place, because I'm like, this shit is so rigged. You, at any point, you could be honest and we could cover it, and then the rest of us would be able to have at least some baseline honest conversation. But right now, it's like, if you want to believe Kamala Harris never did shit for anybody as vice president, there are people walking around right now that think they're informed who are like, she never did shit. And then there's other people that are like, she got sidelined and they didn't do enough with her. And then there's other people that are like, like me, where I'm like, motherfucker was everywhere if you was paying attention.
Yes.
Just nobody gave a fuck. And and at the end of the day, this is why I get back to the good faith actor thing. Or the bad faith actor thing. At the end of the day, I have no choice at this point but to feel like it was intentional, that the stuff was framed this way, so that we're arguing and quibbling with each other, and Republicans are kicking ass. Like, they're not doing all this quibbling and arguing amongst like who they don't give a fuck if JD Vance is a place or not. They care that their agenda's getting passed, and that's all they care about. So that no style points.
Yeah, and also I think for me, as a reasonable and logical person, and as a person who wants the federal government to do their job, which is govern, I remember when Joe Biden was in office, I was like, he's boring as shit, but I won't boring. I like to wake up every day, go to my job, do my shit, and not have to worry about, is he going to start a war? Not have to worry about, is he talking crazy to other countries? Is he going to have tariffs? I didn't have to worry about that shit. I could live my goddamn life.
Yeah, I woke up this morning like, I was like, you know what? I'm done reading these articles, they're saying after that Putin call, the meeting, right? a lot of Trump's people were shook. I don't know what the fuck that guy said to them, but they said like Rubio, the press secretary, they were all like ashen looking. And I'm like, what the hell happened? Was he basically like, y'all gonna give me Ukraine or I'm gonna take all y'all out? Like, what the fuck did he do? Or he probably.
What's crazy is they left the meeting notes on a printer
because they dumb.
And people found them. And that's not The Onion, guys. That's not a joke. That's not some shit I'm making up to be snarky.
The dude that added in the group chat.
That's why we lost beef. You can't even make a comedy anymore. It's real life now.
Yeah. Government papers. This is from NPR.org, guys. This is a real website. Researched. Government papers found in an Alaskan hotel reveal new details of Trump-Putin summit. What the motherfuck? This is amateur hour. These are from the same people that said, what about her emails, who've been hacked and caught on the signal chat, sending fucking war plans to fucking journalists by accident. Like, this is what we have let be in charge. This is why I get it. I know I'm going against the grain here in a world that thinks objectivity is like, we need to be critical of both sides. I'm so done with that shit. We are not in a even situation where we can play it like, well, Democrats got some things to work on too. This ain't it. Like this, if there's a time for that, we are well past that fucking time. Because this shit is going to get people killed. This is not like, I'm not exaggerating. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. There is something that is going to happen under the watch of these people who are extremely unprofessional, extremely unqualified,
services,
who only care about grifting and loyalty to Trump and shit like that. Something, yes, and they are being put in charge of all of us. Something catastrophic will happen because it happens on everyone's watch. Mm-hmm. These motherfuckers don't care about us, and they will not be qualified to handle it. This, like, getting rid of all the vaccine experts and the funding for it. So what? The next COVID takes all of us out. Like, people aren't thinking because I think so many people, because honestly, a lot of times Democrats do a thankless job because we take them for granted. We're like, no, those are the rules, and then it'll just be that way. And as we're losing all the shit that people took for granted, like the right to abortion, I'm not playing the, hey man, Hakeem Jeffries could have said that a little better. It doesn't fucking matter anymore. It doesn't. We're well past a good speech at this point.
Oh yeah. Like, I hear you there. Like, I just, it's kind of like sometimes you just need something to beat up, and so you go like for the most obvious thing. But yeah, because when you dig deeper, like this is some fatalist. Like, I'm just gonna ride this. That's why I'm doing shows like What the Film. I'm like, I'm just gonna do what makes me happy. That doesn't hurt nobody, because
you may as well.
Because how do we recover as a country with this? Because, like you said, Rod, something really, really bad is going to happen, and these MAGA people are not going to eat crow and say, you know what,
exactly,
we really fucked up by like electing this dictator. They're not going to back down, because if they do, they're probably facing criminal charges if we actually have a just system, right? And it's like, what it's terrifying to think of what it's.
You can't look at the same people who still worship Confederate losers to not worship these current losers. Like people, like I saw Joey Reid got tricked the other day on Instagram where she shared an AI clip of Joe Rogan, and in the AI clip, Joe Rogan is like shitting on Trump, like, this guy, he's like a dictator, and I don't understand, like, and like, dude, you're freaking people out or whatever, like, and her audience, some of them were like, that's not Joe, that's an AI clip, because people do keep up with it. It's the most popular podcast, like,
right,
motherfuckers would know if he was. It wouldn't just be like on Instagram if he did that. It'd be everywhere.
Yes, it would be.
But also, like, Joy Reid like had deleted it and like put a little bit of a correction. It was like, yeah, well, MAGA is they are the ones who got tricked. And I was thinking to myself, like, but that is a fantasy that we have as liberal people.
Yes.
That these guys are going to have buyer's remorse and think they got tricked. I hope you're right, but just saying it doesn't make it right. They have to feel this way before it's real. So sharing a fake clip that that didn't happen, it actually doesn't make me feel like oh yeah, it's just a matter of time. I'm like, Joe Rogan is probably somewhere looking at that same fake clip going, I'll never admit I was wrong, because no one's ever going to clown me the way Joy Reid was clowning.
Yeah, and I think also, who was the journalist? The journalist who did like the round table with like 25 MAGA people, and like it was a young MAGA people, and they were like talking about how they like fucked with the Confederacy, they like fucked with Nazi, like they didn't think that, you know, there was anything wrong about like World War II and things like that. And he was like, he did the rounds, he was like on the Bulwark and stuff, and he was like, I was so terrified about how young and racist these young people, like he's like, people think it's gonna die with older white men. It's like, no, it's very much alive in young white men. And I'm like, yeah, it's generational.
I listened to a podcast on the media a couple of weeks ago. They had an episode about the Jubilee, because I, you know, once again, like I said, I know I'm in a very cynical place, but I think I'm just being realistic. But I hate Jubilee. I hate it to the core. I actually think it's the problem. I know they're pitching it as the solution. I think it actually has made us worse as a society. And the reason it's made, and like, if you listen to the founders will say, well, we came up with this because after the 2016 election, when Trump won and we saw young people were supporting Trump, we were so disturbed. We were like, we need to have conversations. We need to get these people in a room and talk to them. Like, it doesn't need to be like CNN where they have people on and they're just debating and arguing. And buddy, I don't know how to tell y'all this. You took the news out of CNN and now it's only the arguing. It's worse. It's crack. It's the crack cocaine of the, like, if you think, what is that lady's name? Abby Phillips, I think is her name.
Oh, on CNN?
Yes. So, you know, Abby Phillips.
Show? She's so beautiful and talented, and she has these crazy motherfuckers on the show.
Right. So Abby Phillips, I think is, honestly, I think it's the Scott Jennings show. And I think
he always gets the clips.
Is there. Yeah. Abby Phillips is there to give us the disguise. She's there to give us the disguise that is not the Scott Jennings show. It's the Scott Jennings show. It's because listen, if it was called the Scott Jennings show, you would never get 4 progressive to liberal people to show up to debate him.
No.
But if you call it the Abby Phillips show, with Scott Jennings just happening to be there every single fucking episode, now you can book people who are otherwise reasonable people who typically wouldn't do a show like that to go, yeah, I'll come on and hang out with Abby, but all they're really doing is getting views and then it's going viral. And every clip of that show is Scott Jennings says something horrible to an educated, smart, well-researched, nuanced, intelligent person. And then that person responds back and then people debate in the chat room. But my point being, like, imagine what Jubilee did was, at least on Abby Phillips' show, right? You have an introduction of a topic, right? It's, inflation was up this percentage of the time, and or this percent right now, and this is doing this, and this, and now we're gonna have our panelists talk about it, right? Jubilee basically said, "Fuck the news part." Like, get rid of what, like the 2%, the facts that we all are basing this on. We're not even starting with that. We're just starting with, hey man, let's just argue about, should trans people have rights? Here's a trans person and here's a bigot. Bam.
And the problem with that, like, you know, I completely hear you there. Like, Mehdi Hassan is the journalist name on the Jubilee thing. Like, because all that shit, for me, I don't watch that stuff and think like these people are going to save us. You know what I mean? Like, you know, them or Pod Save America and shit like that. Like, they haven't saved shit, right? But also, like, the fact checking alone, I knew we were cooked when debates, like, you know, they made it where, like, we're not going to fact check in person. That's going to be on the opponent. It's like, no, you have a candidate that notoriously tells untruths, right? Like, you have to check them in real time, because it shows the American public, yo, everything this guy says is bullshit. Like, you have to do that for the state of the country. Like, you have to do that.
Even further than that, the fact that they gave up on it because it wasn't working. That's like I said,
it didn't go viral.
I hate to sound so dark right now, but these are my real unfiltered thoughts, y'all. The fact that they used to do fact checking and it had no bearing on this man's perception of his performance or his followers' perception of his performance. So they used to, as arduous a task as it was, be like in real time, this is a lie, this is a lie, this is a lie. They would have the moderators, because they have a thing in their ear, and the moderator would even say, like, you just lied. and he'd be like, not nice. No, I didn't lie. You're a nasty woman. And instead of it becoming like a referendum on like, this guy's a liar and he shouldn't be held in office, his people will share oh, look how he slammed Megyn Kelly for correcting him. That's the kind of guy I want to be president. That's the scary part to me. It's like they didn't give up because they never tried. They gave up because they tried and they said it doesn't work. And now everybody, News, Mehdi Hassan too, Jubilee, whatever, everybody's in on it for views. It's just like Mehdi Hassan, when they interview him on the media, he's talking about, they're like, do you regret going on there? What do you think? Was it worth it? And he's like, I don't know. And the reason he's like, I don't know is because he's like, I don't know how many views and people I'll get to follow me that'll be aware of me and maybe they'll start messing with me versus how many of these no-name bigots did you just help platform and legitimize because they sat across from you, they split a screen evenly with you, and they said bigoted lies and you said facts, but the people, like one guy lost his job and then the guy raised like money. Yeah, he raised money on GoFundMe, and now who knows? He'll be some podcaster. And 5 years from now, we'll be like, man, this guy's his biggest hit was when he got fired arguing with Mehdi Hassan, and now he's bigger than Mehdi Hassan possibly. Like that's what the fuck we're facing, and that part is why, like I said, I feel so dark about everything.
I mean, I think that's why a lot of people are just like, especially the black folks, we're just focusing on self-care. We're focusing on what makes us like feel good. We're not gonna go all out and protest and organize and things like that because this country showed who they are. Half the country didn't even vote, which shows how different half the country or incompetent they are. The other half, like, we know how that all panned out. And like I'm constantly terrified by people that think they know everything when their track record proves that they know very, very little. They have very little skills to offer society. Like Tati has a cousin, right? That's like very much like never had a job, struggles through everything, and yet has the audacity to be like, oh, y'all get headaches because you got parasites that impact your body, and like it comes from all the processed food you be eating and stuff. That's why I go full organic. It's like, your kids called us last week because there was no food in the house, so I don't know what are you doing, like things like that, where I'm like, oh, but these people think that they're like that their logic is sound, that like what they're saying is like,
it's those dudes looking at Megan Thee Stallion and being like, she got a little bit of cellulite, and then they look like a sack of potatoes. Like it's that, but for everything.
Yeah, and also Brandon, I think Roger said this before. Back in the day when people were dumb, they were dumb alone. The internet has allowed groups of dummies to be a collective and say we're dumb together, so we're going to spew whatever stupidity and ignorance we have, and we're a collective, and people think a collective is always right, and that's not true.
All right, listen guys, we've already been talking for an hour. This is on me.
Was this politics until we got mad?
Yeah, I need to play music so we can put commercials in here. These commercials might be random as fuck, guys. Like I don't know, the AI might just throw these commercials in the middle of our sentences because I forgot to make segments out of this. So now I'm gonna play some music so we will know where to put at least one commercial, and we're gonna come right back and talk about some other news. Issa Balu, Lover Girl. I love that. All right, let's talk about some news, guys. I saw a article from Campus Reform.
Okay.
And the title was going viral on all my social medias. 77% of Gen Z job seekers have brought a parent to an interview, survey finds.
That was real? Is that real?
A July 2025 survey from Resume Templates found that 77% of Gen Z respondents admitted to bringing a parent to a job interview. And 53% said their parent had spoken with the hiring manager on their behalf.
Oh, no.
A resume.org survey of hiring managers found that 56% encountered unprepared Gen Z applicants. Okay. Now, I know what you're thinking, guys, because I saw this happen in real time. And there were two sides of this on my Facebook page when I posted this without comment. Actually, no, my comment was, I don't believe this. But people were being like, no, because these kids and they got the helicopter parents and our generation, we're too overly involved in our kids' lives. We're not letting them grow up, blah, blah. Okay, so they believed it. Then there were the other people that were like, these fucking kids are soft these days. So they believed it because no one likes the generation after them. I just find this whole thing to sound completely fucking ridiculous. I hear what people, I know what we want to believe about other people, but I was like, let me dive deeper into it. So I dived a little deeper into it because these stats are crazy.
Right.
And the woman who wrote it is Emily Sturge. Emily Sturge is a reporter for Campus Reform. She has also appeared on Fox News, Fox Business, Newsmax, Real America's Voice, Salem TV, News Nation, and The National Desk. She earned her degree in journalism for the University of Florida. I'm like,
Because that sounded so wild. I think I read that article and I was like, that's
looking at her other stories on the website, analysis, new Trump memo closes affirmative actions, backdoor access in the DEI infrastructure. Female athlete refused to stand next to a male, so they took her medal. Video. Let's see. Oklahoma ends in-state tuition for illegal immigrants after DOJ lawsuit. Analysis. Discounted tuition, scholarships, free legal services for illegal immigrants needs to go. For some reason, she posted New York College requires DEI statements for physics lecturer, construction coordinator, x-ray researcher. So I think she has a slant, guys. I think she has a particular way that she thinks. Yeah. So like, before we all get in our heckles about like these young kids, the way they did the survey, one of the misleading things they did, they said if a parent drove you to your interview,
See, that's different.
They counted that as them bringing a parent to an interview.
That's not the same. You might not be able to drive. You might not have, because I try to find younger generations. Sometimes they don't always get licenses.
But when I say brought a parent to an interview, what in your mind's eye did you see? You saw a parent sitting over someone's shoulder, being like, "No, baby, don't tell him."
Here's his resume. Come on, look at that.
Right.
He helped me at the bakery on weekends.
Right.
And then driving you to the interview is completely different.
Crazy.
It's not the same because they're not actually doing the work.
It's just insane. And like, some of these things are so innocuous. 1 in 6 hiring managers reported Gen Z applicants use their phones during their interview. That's not a death knell, because I'm imagining every single person here has done this. Hey, Brandon, so what year did that movie come out? I think it was, actually, let me look this up. It was 96. Simple. I don't go unhireable motherfucker. They make it sound like they're in an interview going, they're like, so what's your experience? Sorry, I'm on TikTok looking at my man Brandon Collins just posted a good crowd work. Like they want us to hate, like to have this hatred towards these young kids, and towards really everybody. These Republicans want us to have this hatred and fear of each other. Yeah, like no one deserves to have a job, or they, it's just kind of crazy. But yeah, I just wanted to dissect that article from campusreform.org, which I don't even know what else they post on Campus Reform, but I'm betting it all has a slant.
Yeah. I mean, I bet you that journalist probably got burned at the University of Florida by like a younger student, and she's just like, "Oh, I'm coming for you, motherfuckers!" Like, right. Yeah, because all that hatred just feels like sexual frustration. You know what I mean? That's how it always feels, especially with like Stephen Miller and motherfuckers like that talking. You're like, oh, you just never got to release a healthy nut. Like, you know what I mean? Like where you didn't feel conflicted or burdened with all your hatred and white supremacy shit.
There's a level of passion there that just shouldn't apply to anything.
Yeah. Like, what do you?
I'm on their website, and this is what it looks like. And like I said, it's just funny.
Alabama. Oh God.
Right, I posted this link, and man, I'm not gonna embarrass anybody by reading their comments from my Facebook, but the way people went off the title, it just didn't click shit. I was like, what? Like this recently happened to me. Apparently, the Colin Kaepernick, Spike Lee series about him taking a knee is dead. It's not coming out.
Okay.
ESPN won't put it out. And they cited creative differences. The NFL just bought a 10% stake in ESPN.
Right. That's why that got killed.
But it got killed, and somebody was like, and I was like, well, that 10% stake is already paying dividends. And this guy goes, I don't think so. Spike Lee would have spoken out if it was da 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 da. And I said, did you read the article? Because in the article he says I can't speak out because I signed the NDA. So like this would have taken 1 second to do. I don't know. You wrote longer in your tweet than it would have taken to find out that he can't speak on it. And he's openly saying I can't speak on it regardless of what happened. But anyway, here's what's on their website. Federal judge won't block DEI ban at Alabama public schools. UPenn donor holds multi-million-dollar pledge, demands his name be removed from building. Baylor students tried to cancel professor over transgender comments. They failed miserably. This is a right-wing outrage site, essentially.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah, it's just funny because I think the headline, I've seen so many people share a screenshot of the headline and be like, these fucking kids, man, they're so soft. And I'm like, they're depending on you to be that way.
I mean, I appreciate you doing the extra digging, Rod. Like when I see headlines like that, I just like say, make sure, and then I just keep it moving. Like unless it's from a reputable source, like, you know, and even then sometimes it could be like, depending on who the journalist is, you still got to like double check. Like
sometimes it's an opinion piece, and that actually, that time be funny, real journalism.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, okay. But like, I feel like, you know, as someone who used to hire young people, like I never, like, there'd be some extra awkwardness that I wasn't used to and stuff, or maybe like some egos that need to be deflated a little bit. But it was never like I'm bringing my parents. Like I even with like the applicants that had anxiety, it's like they never did that far. So like see that
it was a thing that on its face sounds ridiculous.
Yeah,
and I know that people respond to it because it sounds ridiculous. But like I was having a conversation with a friend. We were talking about the clip of David Justice talking about Halle Berry. And if you've seen the clip, it's from Matt Barnes. Basically, they had a sit down with David Justice, and it's actually a pretty good introspective interview, but no one's going to go listen to the whole interview. But the clip they put out was him saying like, the reason his marriage with Halle Berry didn't work out is because he expected her to do all this like work, this domestic work around the house, you know, cooking, cleaning, mothering, blah, blah, blah. And and that's just the only part of the clip they put out was him saying just that. If you go listen to the whole interview or even look at the whole segment for just that, he says he had to go to therapy. He says he was young, he was immature, he didn't understand at the time that you know how ridiculous though that was for him to want her to do that.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So he's openly acknowledging like this. I'm sharing this with you guys because I'm saying I was fucked up and wrong, and the world is taking the one clip, and it's Matt Barnes' fault, right? Matt Barnes put it out because he knew we would act that way, so we get gender wars going, and so everyone's spending time like. They're even saying like, didn't you abuse Halle Berry? He didn't. That's allegedly Wesley Snipes, who apparently we decided that's okay. None of us have canceled him for some reason. But it was just wild because me and my friend are talking and she's like, you know, especially as a Black woman, like this is upsetting. Don't I get to be upset? And I was like, the conversation we're having isn't one of whether or not you can be upset. Like I completely agree with you that the idea of putting this out is offensive, like because what that means is when they put that clip out, they went, we know how people are going to feel, we know they're going to fight, fuck their feelings, we want the clip to go viral and the fighting will help us go viral. You know, no offense to Ryan Clark, but it's the same thing I felt when he put out the Simone Biles clip where her husband's being like, she the one that came at me. I'm like, that whole thing is cute if you put out say 7 minutes where she comes in and they talk, and it's actually kind of a cute exchange. But if you put out 2 minutes, take out the cuteness of it, now you're just setting this couple up to get a lot of scrutiny from a bunch of strangers who will only see your clip. They won't watch your podcast, and they're going to be like, oh, he's a fucking narcissist. This woman is the greatest gymnast in the world, and this is how her husband talks. There won't be anything cute about it. They don't see the couple dynamic. They just see the clip. And what I was expressing to my friend was like, it saddens me that we have been around long enough to know better. Meaning,
right.
I knew when I saw this headline to click on it and go just 10 seconds into detail to be like, okay, this was bullshit. I figured. We all have the same education now. Internet's been around too long. We can't pretend like what? Like this wasn't from NPR. This wasn't from the AP.
Right.
This was from a place, you know, these podcasts. They're not journalistic podcasts where they're even, and then at this point, shit, they won, right? Because CNN doing it, right? Abby Phillips is putting out shit like this. Mm-hmm. My point being, like, we all know better, and so, I think the sadness comes in where I'm like, there's something in us that wants to be fed kindling for the fires of rage that we have inside of us.
Yeah.
Constantly.
Yeah, because it's so many things that we can't control.
And we don't seem to care anymore. Like, I'm not invalidating someone's feeling. I'm not saying you shouldn't be upset by this.
Right.
What I'm saying is, in an environment where they're counting on us to be upset, and they're counting on our upset to make us blind to context.
Yes.
And to the shit that actually matters, and there's shit that actually like is impacting us. It's all the stretch.
Brandon,
yeah,
right.
and for the record, I'm not saying this doesn't matter. Like, I think obviously this cut of 1,000 slices of annoyance, it adds up into an environment that, it happens. I'm a black person. This shit happens all the time. I see something, I go, what the fuck? And then I'm like, and I'm like, is that really going to affect my life? Not really, but like, yes, the environment is upsetting. Like, I get it, but the fact that we know this is just a dirty trick that Matt Barnes did, and it worked anyway.
Yeah,
that's what makes me feel like we're cooked. That's sadder, because I don't think it's not reasonable. I think it's very reasonable to see that clip and be like, that's fucked up. The fact that it's not also reasonable to be like, oh, then I went and watched the interview, and David Justice actually kind of took care of him for himself and said he was wrong and immature and went to therapy, and he wouldn't feel that way today. That part it's like, fuck what you just said. I want to be mad. That says something about us.
And that's where, like, I get, going back to what you were saying earlier, Rod, about like, we need, like, there's going to be like a catastrophic event that's going to have to reset everything. You know what I mean? Like, it's going to have to be big. It's going to have to be big, because the pandemic wasn't it. You would have thought the pandemic would be it, but no, like, it's got to be something that's harrowing, that like, it's scary when you think about what could that possibly be.
Dude,
because
I don't know, because that's the thing. It won't be something we predict. You know what I'm saying? Like, there'll be somebody somewhere that will pull up a video where it's like, did you see this conference 17 years ago where a guy said, like they did with the pandemic, where it's like, here's that one conference where this one guy was like, a pandemic could destroy us.
Yeah, in about 20 years, there might be a catastrophic thing that happens when an animal crosses another animal.
Like, I'll be dead and gone.
Like, I don't know. Like,
like, tell me more.
Right, yeah. Pull out my iPhone camera.
Where are you? I need you for a film.
Let me mustache twirling and shit.
Get to the casting on this. But yeah, there's something. Yeah, that's the scariest part, is that whatever it is, we won't predict, right? Who knows whether it's some terrorism or it's a fucking disease or fucking depression. Like, none of us knows. We just know we won't be prepared.
But I go dark to the point where like it's gotta be so bad that it gets this dude out of the house, because folks, let's be honest, like, he ain't leaving in 2028. When you're doing a remodel in like the White House, the way that he's planning on doing, with hundreds of millions of dollars being done, you don't do that when you're out in like less than 4 years.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's some things that he's doing where it's like, guys, he's planting roots. Like,
they're trying to steal they're already trying to get data and stuff for states and their local voting and registration records and all this stuff.
That's what Elon was doing. They already have all that.
And the thing is, you put these people in charge. So like, well, you could be like, this is unfair or whatever. Those actually are in the auspices of the offices they operate. Like, those powers are part of what they won when they won. So there's people that are going to be like, they're going to do something fucked up. It's like, yeah. And we knew that in November. like you said, I feel like a lot of us, especially black people, are just holding our heads down. And I don't mean holding our heads down like scared, but like holding our heads down like prepared. Like, hey, some shit is about to pop off. We got to do what we can to protect each other, protect our own spaces, because this whole thing where black people are going to save the country and save the world, motherfucker, this ain't heroes. I'm trying to save my friends and myself and my community. And I hope the world makes it to the other side and that there's a world to come back to if we get through this.
I waited for Obama to make a speech just like what you just said, Rod. Like with things, you know, because if the Epstein vice gets real tight on Trump, he's going to push for prosecution against Obama and like people.
Yeah,
and that's
he's already doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna get an online video from Obama and Michelle in a like undisclosed area. They're gonna be like, listen, America, we wish y'all the best.
Right.
Yeah, people gonna start leaving. Yes.
Yeah. And like Obama's one of those true believer guys, but it also sucks because like there's this weird like daddy issue people have with Obama where it's like they get mad at him when he doesn't say shit, but then when he says shit, they get mad that he does say shit when he does. Like he can never do it right. Whatever he does is always like the wrong thing to do thing, which feels like we're all teenagers rebelling against a parent.
If I can just like, you know, like to maybe pivot from this or whatever, but like to again, shout you guys out for your support and everything. When I was going through a really dark period in 2023-ish with like, you know, the writer's strike, things happening with Gordon, with Drunk Black History and things like that. It like your encouragement to keep going was great, but also it came at a time where I realized, and I think the country would be very well served to do this as well. I realized no one's going to save me. No one's going to help me. Shit happens. Shit doesn't work out. You get betrayed. You get screwed over. You lose opportunities, things like that. Only I can impact change. Like, I can't expect mysterious things that happen that are going to work in my favor. I have to do what I can to change my path and my trajectory, right? My career. And I think so many people want someone like a political figure or some higher power or something like that to change their life, to change the decisions and the mistakes that they made so they can feel better about themselves. They don't have any shame anymore. It's okay to feel shame. I think that we got away from that for some reason. It's okay to feel shame. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel embarrassed. But move on. You're not dead. Like it didn't kill you.
I be in the gym, dog, because that's a thing I can control.
Yeah, shout out to you and your routine.
Oh,
you kept with that. Man. Congratulations, man.
But like part of that is like a mental health thing for me, where it's like, hey man, I can control how many times I lift this weight, how much better I get at it each time. Like I can see progress in my body and my accomplishments. I can't control Abby Phillips and Scott Jennings. I can't control people losing their fucking minds over a headline that says 77% of these kids are bringing a parent to the interview and they go, that's got to be true. No need to investigate that. You know, I can't control like, especially as a podcaster, like this bothers me a lot, but it's nothing I can do about it. But like the people who are winning at podcasting and the stuff they're doing, like I think it's very unscrupulous to have a guest on your show, take a clip of that guest that puts them in a bad light and be like, well, at least we got the views. Like if I was David Justice, I'd be like, yo, y'all fucked me up, man. Why'd y'all do that? like I came on there because I trusted you brothers and I thought we were having a real like introspective conversation as athletes who had gone through some shit and come out on the other side. And the clip you put out is the one that makes it sound like I'm in 2025 being like, listen, man, this bitch Halle Berry, she needed to learn how to be a woman.
David Justice felt like Henry Winkler in the last season of Barry, where he was like, I was just trying to help this guy, and now I'm going down for everything.
Right.
I'm sorry, that's one of the funniest, like, that performance in, like, the episode where he gets, like, caught, like, you know, he gets charged and shit. Henry Winkler deserved the Emmy for that shit. He was so
good, bro. Funny. He was so good. What a show, man.
Going down for that?
You know, like I'll save this Drake update for another day.
What did I miss? What I missed?
Right.
Is he come back, you think?
Say what?
Ever gonna get back to the level that he used to be at?
No, obviously not.
Yeah,
does he know that?
No, he don't know that, and that's the problem, right?
No, I've never seen anyone. You know what? Fuck it. Let's talk about Drake. I've never seen anyone crash out like this in my lifetime. I'm not joking. I know it sounds hyperbolic, but I really truly do mean this. There are rappers who either killed someone or got killed in a beef that have come out better than Drake. Like, that's crazy. That's crazy to be like, yeah, man, better to get murdered in the street than to live like this man is living right now. Suing, and he's suing UMG. It had died down in the news for a while, to a point where I was thinking like, maybe it's not gonna
go nowhere,
go anywhere. Maybe he just did that for the press and then he's gonna quietly drop it. No, he means it. And so UMG has had to respond to it. And Lucian Grange, who is like the UMG CEO, finally kind of clapped back with his own legal filings, because Drake's been alleging like, oh, UMG set me up. They put Kendrick up to this. They lied about how popular Not Like Us is. No one really likes GNX and Not Like Us. They right. They did something with Spotify to make Spotify.
He doing a sold out tour with SZA, but he not popular. Nobody liked it. Okay.
Right. They did something with Spotify somehow to make Spotify inflate the numbers of streams when it wasn't that right number. And Drake knows, because Drake's like, don't ask me how I know. I mean, I'm the real number one hit maker, but UMG makes people have bigger hits than they're supposed to. I'm like, so did they do it for you? We're not talking about that. We're talking about Kendrick. And then as I pointed out, like when the shit started a year or so ago, I was like, okay, so I just want to go through the timeline. It's important. Drake says that this man won't drop a diss album. Begs him. Puts 2 songs out.
He does. I remember.
Fake AI Tupac song that we've all forgotten about, with Tupac and fake Snoop Dogg. And then of course, drop, push-ups.
Antagonizing.
Kendrick does drop. And then he drops. And he drops. And he drops. And so he also had accused Kendrick in these songs of beating his wife, his kids not being his. Matter of fact, his kids being Dave Freeze genetically somehow, and asking why his wife doesn't follow him on Instagram. It was just weird shit, like, or his mother's child, whatever. So in this lawsuit, because I went, okay, that's crazy, because he's suing Drake and UMG, and he's like, you called me a pedophile, I'm suing. You said this thing, this and the other thing about me, I'm suing. I don't like that. You guys fucking lied on me, trying to destroy my reputation. I'm like, so am I to be led to believe that in your diss song, you weren't just talking shit, you believe this man's kids aren't his? You believe that? That's a thing that you think you have some evidence of? In this latest filing of this lawsuit, he is asking UMG to somehow compel Kendrick Lamar to get his children a DNA test to prove they're his fucking kids. This was a rap beef. What happened? Brother, you're never getting it back. He wants them to prove Kendrick Lamar didn't or did beat his wife with some non-existent police reports that we don't. It's like, hey Karen, can you prove you're not beating your husband? How the fuck do I prove a thing that's not happening? And why would you ever put that in a lawsuit with a company in a civil lawsuit, not criminal, in a civil lawsuit about a rap diss? And so now it's forced Lucian Grange and UMG to respond, to where Lucian Grange, I feel like he channeled Jay-Z in those Rock Nation press releases that be coming out. Just The Rock.
You were like, Jay, we know you wrote this.
Be reading the Rock Nation press releases.
All spicy and shit.
Yeah, I'll be reading them press releases like, like a lawyer didn't see it. Like
you did not wake Jan up before you sent this at 3:45 in the morning.
The lawyer didn't see this.
No, they didn't.
Jay-Z typed this, sent it to them, and said, put this on the fucking Rock Nation. Matter of fact, give me the login. I'll put it on the Rock Nation website myself. That's where we're at. Okay. So Grange put out a declaration letter where he wrote, claims that I was behind a scheme to devalue Drake's brand through the release of and promotion of the Kendrick Lamar recording Not Like Us, an allegation that makes no sense due to the fact that the company that I run, Universal Music Group, NV, has invested hundreds of millions of dollars in Drake, including long-standing and critical financial support for his recording career, the purchase and ownership of the bulk of his recording catalog, and the purchase of his music publishing rights. So now people are finding out Drake in one of them 360 deals where he ain't making as much money as he claimed. Like honestly, it just makes the Kendrick Lamar diss songs better, because I remember when Kendrick said, let's speak on percentages. And I'll double back with you because you signed to a nigga that was signed to a nigga that said they were signed to that nigga. Meaning you're getting, like, your cut is so small of the money you're supposedly making, and I guarantee you I'm making more than you. And now it's like, well, now UMG's putting out these numbers, and it's like, oh, I see what Kendrick meant. You aren't making the money you said.
Yeah, that's why he consistently has to tour and do all this shit, because he's like, I gotta make that money.
Yes.
Right. That's why he can't go away.
Yeah.
Even if he wanted to, quote unquote, leave, he couldn't.
Right. Further, Grange said it makes no sense whatsoever that he was in the weeds as to the release and promotion of any particular sound recording from thousands of UMG releases throughout the world, as his job encompasses global strategy at a publicly traded multi-billion-dollar multinational corporation whose operations in over 60 countries covering nearly 200 markets, claiming otherwise is farcical. He ends the letter saying, given my role, I am accustomed and unfortunately largely resigned to personal attacks. And I further recognize that a frequent strategy of UMG's litigation opponents is to attempt to waste my and UMG's time and resources with discovery of the sort that Drake is seeking here, either in an attempt to gain media attention or in an effort to force some kind of commercial renegotiation or financial concessions. But given Drake's motion, I would like to make it quite clear that I had never heard the recording Not Like Us, nor ever saw the corresponding cover art or music video until after they were released by Interscope Records. Whilst as part of my role, I certainly have financial oversight and responsibility for UMG's global businesses, the proposition that I was involved in, much less responsible for reviewing and approving the content of Not Like Us, its cover art or music video, or for determining or directing the promotion of those materials, is groundless and indeed ridiculous.
Oh, this is white man speech. I done had enough of you.
This is white man speech for get the fuck out of here.
Yes, it is. Very, very like
fuck out of here is what he basically said in White Man.
You know what? And I bet you it was much harsher than that. He actually had somebody go through and kind of clean it up and like, Bob, we can't say fuck him. All right, I guess.
Here's my favorite. Here's my favorite part. He had a separate letter from UMG's lawyers to the Southern District of New York that they put out. Drake's motion is a transparent attempt to use discovery to harass UMG and force it to waste time and resources out of spite. The premise of Drake's motion, that he could not have lost a rap battle unless it was a product of some imagined secret conspiracy going to the top of UMG's corporate structure, is absurd. Sir Lucian Grange, is the CEO of a multinational enterprise. His days are spent determining and implementing global strategy, not vetting individual tracks or album covers or driving the release or promotional plans for any one recording. And even if Sir Lucian had any responsive documents, they would certainly be captured by discovery from UMG's other document custodians who were actually responsible for releasing and promoting Not Like Us. Drake does not come close to meeting his burden of showing that Sir Lucian must be a custodian. His motion should be denied. I've never seen anyone go out like this, dog. I couldn't have predicted this. Mm-hmm. I'm not a Drake hater by far. Like when he was doing his thing, I just accepted that as part of the rap industry. And I don't mean that in a hateful way. I mean, there's songs from Drake where I'm like, yeah, I like that song. You know, it wasn't to me, he was no different than other artists, but the way he has gone out, maybe other people are experiencing this too. I can't even listen to his music right now. No, if I'm in the gym and I'm listening to a Spotify playlist and a Drake song come on, I'll skip it.
Me too. And I used to didn't do that, right?
That's crazy.
I can listen to Take Care because he already was a sad sack, and now it's like, well, you have no good people around you to give you the truth, so it's even sad. You're definitely not gonna get no girls now.
The braggadocious lines don't hit because I know you the kind of nigga that sues people when you lose. So the whole I'm the greatest, I'm the best. I'm like, do you really believe that, or do you want to go to court?
And it's also now it's already it used to be an open secret. Now it's just open that he has all these ghostwriters and things like that. So it's it's compared to Kendrick, and Kendrick showing his versatility, how much of an artist, how much of he's about the culture. Yeah, Drake, he's better off just going straight to comedic actor route at this point. Where he can find an opportunity to make fun of himself maybe and rebuild his image that way, because he is a funny actor. I've always enjoyed him. So, but I think like, you know, the hardcore rapping, being in a pool surrounded by guns and shit, like, bro, like that's
But
over.
It doesn't it doesn't do anything to beat the not like us allegations. That's his problem.
Right.
Like everything he's doing is stuff that makes the premise of not like us just more and more valid. Where it's like, this is not hip hop. This is not how you respond. You're not the first big rapper to lose a rap battle.
Nope.
Shit, you lost a rap battle before with Pusha T. So we like, you could just move on.
That's
and we be okay.
Not Like Us was such a blow to him. We forgot that Pusha T outed that he had a kid.
Bro, he did. You are hiding a child. Like this man. Yes, this man already been here before. I am honestly at this point shocked that he didn't just go back to let me just pretend this didn't happen. Keep putting out music and hope people just let it go after a few years, because that's definitely how he got through the Pusha T shit. Now I know Pusha not big as Kendrick. I get that. And of course, Pusha wasn't doing the Super Bowl and calling you a pedophile. I get that. But
I still can't believe that.
You had to just let it. You could have just let it go. Anyway, this is why Kendrick's my favorite, because like this is the kind of evisceration I dream of when I think of when I want to pop off on somebody. This is the level of pop off I want to do. I don't want to be like, oh, Rod just said something spicy, and I want people to be like, Rod eviscerated that man's soul, his character, and I will never see that person again after Rod exposed them. That's how I want people to feel, which is why I obviously try not to get in that point, because it's a lot of work. And if I'm gonna burn the bridge, I want to burn it all the way down, both sides. Neither one of us can cross it. You know, I want it to be obvious we don't fuck with each other no more. This has become my dream and Drake's nightmare. But yeah, it's been amazing to watch. Love it. All right, let's do Guess the Race and wrap this thing up, guys. All right, we've been having a lot of fun.
We have. I've been enjoying this.
Yeah. I always love when Brandon comes on. Here's some Guess the Race intro music.
It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race. It's time to guess the race.
All right, guess the race time. We go around the globe, find different articles, guess the race of the people involved, and the chat room plays, and so does Karen and Brandon, and everybody's races. All right, let's start with this one. DJ trades wheels of steel for bars of iron. Responding to an indecent exposure complaint, police found Anthony Smith, 32, walking around a Florida park Thursday afternoon wearing women's lingerie, the bottoms of which were of the thong variety, and left Smith's genitals fully exposed.
The thongs and
fake breast.
Yeah.
Fake breast. A wig of long black hair. A black mask around his face, a penis ring that is used for arousal purposes as well as to maintain erections, a black foxtail protruding from his posterior. Upon further examination, the bushy tail turned out to be attached to a rectal plug that was inserted in his anus.
Oh.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. Smith, who works as a party/wedding DJ,
okay,
he allegedly tried to evade a cop who initially discovered him inside of a Indian Riverside Park in Jensen Beach. He was eventually apprehended near the Children's Museum of the Treasure Coast. The witnesses who dialed 911 to report a suspicious individual with his sexual organs exposed was in the park to pick up their kids from a summer camp at the museum.
Oh no!
This dude ended up on a list.
Oh, right. Do this somewhere in the privacy where everybody consents. None of them consented to this.
I'm gonna tell you what.
Know the race already.
As a parent, that's not what you want to see.
No.
As a parent, when you come to pick up your little one, that's not what you want to see.
Y'all walking out, go, oh my gosh, what is happening? And my mind, I'm like, why is there a furry here? I'm confused.
That parent did say no children witnessed the event. Asked by police what was going on today, Smith reportedly said he suffers from some sort of sexual addiction and that engaging in lewd behavior arouses him. He added that this was not the first time he had a run-in with law enforcement for the same kind of behavior.
Why would he say that? Why would you admit that?
It's
I mean, I guess the game.
Maybe it's part of the kink.
But there's too many people that's into that kink that aren't out here publicly being arrested.
But that's the thing. Maybe part of the kink for him is the shame of being in public and being
okay.
Like, he was I'm a bad boy,
right?
Like
maybe you need to put the cuffs on me and punish me, officer. Asked by police,
be like, yeah, there's no role play for us. You are really under arrest. Here's your Miranda rights.
Smith was convicted in 2017 of indecent exposure and resisting arrest after he was spotted naked and pleasuring himself in public. In post-arrest comments, he reported that he does this because pornographic materials do not suffice his sexual desires and that he does not want to violate his morals by having sexual relations before marriage or by using a female solely for sexual pleasures purposes. So basically, it's kind of what Brandon was saying about how people not the sexual repression got them acting out.
Mm-hmm. Okay, instead of just
trust me, for the good of the world, we'd all rather you were having sex if it's gonna keep you from doing this.
Please.
Yeah, if you have that kind of an addiction, like you need mental health support. Like, yeah, it's beyond.
But if you're saying I'm doing this because I don't want to have sex before marriage, go ahead and have sex before marriage, player. It's fine. We're not going to judge you.
I'd rather you doing that than
even Jesus and God are like, you should definitely go have some sex.
Then gallivanting in front of the kids. What's happening?
I guarantee the shit you're doing is also a sin. So, like, if it's some Jesus shit, just letting you know, you might as well just have the sex, buddy. Smith, who was sentenced to 6 months in jail in 2017 case, told arrested officers he had been arrested twice in the past for committing this act. Charged with exposure of sexual organs and resisting arrest, both misdemeanors. Smith was booked last week into the county jail where he is being held in advance of an August 13th court appearance. His DJ firm, which has been accredited by the Better Business Bureau, operates from the house where he lives with his parents, that is owned by his parents.
Oh no.
No, they're very disappointed. All right, Karen, guess the race of Mr. What was his name? Anthony Smith.
Anthony Smith. You said his name was Wheels of Steel?
No, I don't have his DJ name. It said DJ Trades Wheels of Steels, which is what they call the turntable or iron bars.
Okay. I'm gonna go white. I thought you meant his name was Wheels of Steels.
No. What about you, Brandon?
Yeah, I'll go with you can still be free on these streets even though you on multiple lists. White. That's great. Like, that's that's how I knew I'd be very surprised if it's not white because the fact that he's had multiple charges with this shit, that's crazy.
Ed told the cops it. That's great. They didn't have to look it up. They're like, oh man, I do this all the time. All right, let's see what the chat room believes. Lock his ass up, throw away the key. Mr. and Mrs. Smith. What race is that? Which version?
I guess.
Are you talking about the Brad Pitt version or are you talking about the Childish Gambino version?
Right. They did have another version.
Keith, I'm gonna need a little more explanation. What in the Righteous Gemstones is this? White? EDM white. I don't even have a joke. LOL, just white. Kinky Cracker white. Please pop your cherry white. He a fan white. Freaky ass wigger. Need to keep his ass inside white. It looks like everyone unanimously on this one went white. And everyone unanimously on this one got it wrong. He's black.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is. I'm about to show y'all.
Wow.
That's him and his DJ headphones.
Being black. You look like the barber from Atlanta.
Oh no!
Don't he? He do look like that barber from Atlanta.
Oh my god, yo!
His DJ name was Wheels of Steel. Then
nobody got
him
right.
to the docks and beat him to death.
No
cops. Okay,
right. Well, it goes down to the docks.
Shout out to those cops, getting a little more progressive every time, guys. All right, let's go to the next one. Everybody's 0 for 1 so far. Yeah,
that was some Sixth Sense shit. that was the ultimate plot twist.
Suspect in Hard Rock jackpot ambush was arrested 1 month prior for falling asleep in a Taco Bell drive-through. Okay. Polk County Sheriff Grady Judd spoke on the arrest of a Lakeland man for robbing and shooting a couple following their jackpot win at a Hard Rock casino. The man had previously been arrested in Polk County. One of the two suspects arrested for ambushing, robbing, and shooting a couple after they hit a jackpot at a Tampa casino made headlines a month earlier for his arrest in Polk County. Marcus Jenkins and Tristan Wright were arrested after authorities say they followed a Riverview couple home to rob and shoot them after they won big at the Seminole Hard Rock Casino Hotel and Casino. The doorbell camera footage showed the harrowing moment where Val Dela Cruz and Kim Chambliss were ambushed by two suspects after a dream night at a casino turned into a nightmare. One of the two suspects, though, Jenkins, made headlines for unusual arrest a month prior. He was arrested July 6th when they found him asleep behind the wheel in a car at a Taco Bell drive-thru.
Everybody blowing behind them. They like, hey, what happened to the line?
Sometimes that fourth meal, it makes you need a little nap. Deputies said he smelled of alcohol, and they found cannabis and more than 28 grams of fentanyl in the car.
Oh,
he was charged with he was charged with a plethora of charges, including
they call that the number 7 at Taco Bell.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's awesome.
Would you like to upsize that with extra fentanyl? Yes. He was charged with a plethora of charges, including trafficking and fentanyl, resisting arrest, DUI, and others. He posted a $25,000 bond, though. So maybe that's why he's like, man, I gotta get more money for bond money. They addressed the situation. He needs to be sent to prison for the rest of his life, but he had a right to bond. He posted a bond. Quite frankly, if I had my way, everybody that had a criminal history such as that had a bond would wear an ankle monitor, said the cops. If he had on an ankle monitor, I doubt that he'd have hung out at the Hard Rock and followed someone home and shot them. Sheriff Judd said Jenkins had 53 previous felony charges and 18 previous misdemeanor charges, and he had been to state prison 5 times. Guess the race of Marcus Jenkins.
Black.
Karen saying black.
Brandon. If there's a white Marcus Jenkins, I don't know.
I want to go black, but also I didn't think black people fuck with fentanyl. But what do I know these days?
Black people in everything.
They did charge him with trafficking fentanyl, so maybe he sold it. Maybe he wasn't using it. I don't know. Chat room says he ordered a number 17 and got an 8th black. Tampa white, black, Negro doing his financial plan. The correct answer is, oh wait, there's some more. Hold on. Career ninja, fentanyl laced with crack cocaine, black. Jenkins is black, is a black. The correct answer is black.
Okay.
Y'all got it.
We back on track now.
Right. Woo. My racism bar ain't off no more.
His co-defendant is there too. Some of you did say white and you missed it. I think y'all said white because y'all was shook from the first one.
Right? That first one, y'all. Yeah.
This one seemed pretty good. Yeah. So Marcus is on the left, Tristan's on the right.
Yeah, those seems like brothers that would be in the Taco Bell, just knock the fuck out.
All right, let's go to the bonus round where everything's going to be worth triple the points.
All right, redemption.
Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the points. Triple the rates. Triple the points. 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 Triple the race. Triple the race. Triple the race.
Woman calls police on homeless man walking his newborn. Turns out it's her neighbor. Chapman Hamburg is an artist and a father of 4 living and working in Huntington Beach, California. The 33-year-old is often found painting and sculpting in his backyard studio or surfing the waves near his home. His favorite pastime, however, is spending quality time with the family. Since welcoming a newborn only a month ago, his routine involves daily walks around the neighborhood in an attempt to soothe his daughter and give his wife some time to relax. However, he never expected to have the police call on him for looking homeless. Him and his family live in a quiet beachside neighborhood on a street located between a middle and a high school, but leading to a good amount of foot traffic. Foot traffic. One early morning, the artist was walking his newborn daughter, as he often does. And then he said she's in the fussy newborn stage, so I took on lots of walks. I wear her in the baby carrier. I go out often in the middle of the night, like all times of the day and multiple times a day. It's kind of like a routine to give my wife some rest. However, his routine was interrupted when he was taking the second walk of the morning, and a person called the police on him. It was his oldest son who pointed out that the police car parked right in front of their house. At first, he wondered if someone had called the cops on his family, though he wasn't sure why. He and the officer met halfway down his lawn, exchanged confused looks. He was very friendly and kind, so I wasn't on guard. I already kind of had a hint that there must have been some sort of miscommunication. The officer revealed that someone had reported a homeless person with a baby and found that address at the following Hamburg home. Hamburg, with his daughter still on his chest, was shocked and a bit embarrassed. The officer explained that a neighbor was concerned about what they saw and asked him to provide a form of identification. He immediately went inside to look for his wallet and tell his wife what was happening. Hannah was in disbelief and decided to come outside for support. I was like shaking, and you can hear it in my voice. My voice is just like all over the place, she recalls. I'm in my own home. I'm in my own neighborhood with my own baby. It's just wild that could happen. It's kind of crazy. Nevertheless, after providing his ID, Hamburg, his wife, and the officer are seen laughing off the situation in a viral video. I think it helped that he was just really friendly and really kind, Hamburg admits. If it had been someone that was more suspicious and, was a bit more aggressive and intense, for sure, that would have been a different interaction. See, Hamburg's dad was a firefighter. So growing up, he was taught to always be polite and cooperative with police. But after sharing the experience online, some people commented that the situation could have played out differently as some other factors have been in play. Others pointed out the privilege in being able to laugh it off. He said it's interesting to reflect on all that. There's just so much of that in our culture right now. All right, guess the race of Mr. Chapman Hamburg.
White.
You going white on this one? Okay, all right. What about you, Brandon?
Chapman Hamburg?
Hamburg. Hamborg. Yeah, like the Borg in Star Trek.
Oh yeah, love that series. Shout out First Contact. I'm gonna go with white. I'm gonna go with Borg.
So
white.
Karen, you said white. Brandon said white. Let's check the chat room. Black. Okay, so black man married to Hannah, neighbor is white. And they all live whitely ever after.
That's hilarious.
Ooh, all this dog was. He's white. He wouldn't have laughed at all. We wouldn't laugh it off. We would have been have beef forever. Mr. Rogers white. Listen to the pod Save America regularly white. White. Oh, wow. Carlton is real black. Ezra Klein fan white. 9021 white.
That's hilarious.
Everyone who said white, you got it correct. Woo. Those who said black.
Oh wow. Yeah, that looks like a cast from an Ari Aster movie.
Yeah, like somewhere. What's my man? God damn it. Why can't I remember his fucking name? Anderson. What is his name? The white. He makes all the white movies.
Oh, Wes Anderson.
Wes Anderson is like, why didn't I think of this? He's like, why? How do I get Gwyneth Paltrow and
quirks per second would have been super high.
And Owen Wilson to do this.
Yes, you took the words out of my mouth. So this is a picture of the family. He reveals he cuts his own hair and never goes to a barber.
Oh, we can't tell.
That's a privilege. That's a privilege. Here's them and the whole family laying on the yard in the front yard.
Punch.
Here's him and his art
kombucha.
His art studio, no shoes on, just painting weird.
Of course.
Things. Okay, lots of nudity going on in that house. Here's him presenting his. He is an artist with his own institute called the Hamburg Academy of Art, which I don't know if that's accredited or just he just like went to the sea and painted and was like, this is my academy now. He admits an apology from his neighbor would have been nice, but he's choosing to have a positive outlook on the situation, thinking of sending the woman a letter, thanking her for being vigilant. I would like to use it as an opportunity to get to know my neighbor and be thankful that she's looking out for our kids of the neighborhood, he said, rather than, turn it into a divisive thing. Yeah, the dog whistling at the end was so good because like people obviously online pointed out if he was black, this shit would have went way left. And he's like, listen, I'm just happy to be able to say, like, we're not in a divided society right now. And I was taught to respect police and not be aggressive.
But that's what's so confusing about the first one, right? Because we think about that scenario, like black men usually don't fare well in anything that's like that.
And
like,
he's been arrested multiple times for that too.
Y'all can't even get over the first one. I love it. That's my favorite part against the race. We've been moved on, and y'all like, but the reason I missed it,
the wheels are still. What is happening here?
Police is letting a naked sex offender go multiple times.
Multiple times.
Angle. Like, come on.
Right.
It's not Samuel Jackson.
Right. There's nothing cool about this. All right. Last thing, sword ratchetness, and then we'll officially end this.
Yeah.
Somebody said they make their own toothpaste white. That's hilarious.
That's really hard.
And now he's dead. Police. Homicide squad detectives have worked throughout the night following a fatal shooting by police of a man who was allegedly assaulting a woman. Police say a man was shot dead at Melbourne's Outer East, was tasered 3 times before officers fired. Shout out to Australia. 2 officers responded to a report of a violent fight between a brother and a sister in Yarra Junction. Yeah. It was like, oh no, I think the dingo ate her baby. And they was like, what? Put another shrimp on the Barbie. That's not a knife. Those are the Australian sayings I know. But yeah, he was attacked.
On your mic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's Australian. Go here. So if you put out the sword, and they was like, that's not a knife. He's like, right, because it's a sword. Then they shot him. But yeah, they went ahead and took him up out of here, so he gone. There you guys go. That's the update. Even Australia, guys, the swords are out and people are attacking family members.
Be careful out there, Wong and crew.
Okay, them kangaroos, they got something for your ass.
Yeah, they do, apparently.
All right, Brandon, tell the people where to find you. Tell them where to go watch you do what WTF What the Film and all the other great stuff you do.
Yeah, thank you so much again for having me on. I love y'all. Y'all can follow me on Instagram at Frodo_Blackens. Check out What the Film, launching on Thursday, September 4th at Littlefield in Brooklyn. We're going to be talking about 90s movies that we know and love, but also hate at the same time. We're going to be doing some movie trivia, some movie soundtrack karaoke. We got some great guests with Tatiana King, DJ Ben Hameen from For All Nerds, Justin Brown from Media Popcorn Podcast, Ophira Eisenberg from NPR, and Mike Feeney, who performs all over the country. So please come out to that show, What the Film, WTF. And again, you can get tickets for that at FrodoBlackens.com.
Yep, and there's a 20% off coupon.
Yeah, discount code Popcorn. Use the code Popcorn to get 20% off your ticket price. Because I know money's tight. I want to see y'all come out here.
All right, I'm gonna write that down. I'll put it in our show notes, guys. The discount code is Popcorn, so you can get 20% off. Like I said, go see it, man. You're gonna have a good time. We need each other in times like this. Getting out the house and seeing people in person is super fucking important right now.
It is.
Don't just consume people through the internet. Yeah. Have some laughs, have a good time. And if you love movies, man, there's so few spaces, man, where you can just have fun talking about movies. I'm not saying that critical work isn't important and criticism isn't important, and that's part of it. But spaces where we're genuinely also having fun, that's the hard thing to find right now. There's a lot of just, here's the take on why Superman sucks or whatever, as opposed to just like, hey man, here's what I love about this goofy shit. And then and like the stuff that is bad, we're also having fun pointing. Like that's that was bad, but that was also kind of funny and cool. Like we missing that, and Brandon definitely
100%.
brings that with his content. So
all
right, y'all.
So much,
no problem, man. We'll be back throughout the week. Until next time, I love you.
I love you too.
Bye everybody.